Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Manscaped, the leaders in men's grooming. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code COWBOYS at manscaped.com. With the Cowboys not really practicing today, it's a perfect time for an updated list of training camp winners and losers. For the most part, with a couple of exceptions, we are looking at different players than the first time we did this video because, hey, let's be honest, that makes it more fun and we can talk about more people and not just repeat the same talking points as last time. So first up is wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Yes, Jalen Tolbert continues to impress, but I would say that Lamb has been the top player in Cowboys training camp so far based on all the different reports from everyone else out there at Cowboys camp. Lamb has looked very good. He did miss one day, which I think was just kind of a rest management day because I think you know what you have in him. Brandon Cooks also continues to look very good. The Cowboys receiving corps is in better shape than what it was last year this time. That is a very low bar to clear, however. Now, if you love our Cowboys videos, if you enjoy us putting out content every single day for you guys, help us out by sharing today's video, especially if you do not care for LaShawn McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, etc. We'll talk about them later on in the show near the end. But share the video and help us out in the process. Jalen Brooks, I will put on here twice. Did it for him last week. I'm going to do it for him again. I have been very impressed by him. I think we overlooked him as a draft pick. We were more excited about Jalen Moreno-Cropper, but it's been Brooks who I think is trending towards being the sixth receiver on this team. The games will matter. Don't get me wrong, if you're bad in the games when you're playing against other teams, that does have an impact there. But I think Brooks is on path towards being ahead of Simi Fehoko. Maybe not Kevontae Turpin in terms of where they sit currently. This is the just standard depth chart. We'll make some adjustments after the first preseason game. I just want to see that happen first because stuff will change. But I think Brooks is ahead of Fehoko right now. He has been that impressive at receiver, and he offers nice special teams ability. All right, time for Trevon Diggs, the Cowboys' confident cornerback. Quick note here. Diggs had 2 interceptions against Dak in Tuesday's practice, and I loved his reactions to both of them, throwing it up high in the air and doing the Deion Sanders high step. Those came after, and one before and then another one after. Dak, both to Gallup and Cooks, kind of worked Trevon Diggs a little bit. A double move got him, and then he just lost off the press or at the line of scrimmage with press against Gallup. You win some, you lose some. But I love the mindset from Trevon Diggs. Not everyone agrees with me. It's because I grew up, loving and idolizing Deion Sanders. I want my cornerbacks sometimes irrationally confident and cocky. Celebrate every play that you make. Have that mindset. I think it goes a long way as a corner because you're going to lose about 50% of your reps. That's how it tends to go when you're targeted. You're not if your completion rate is like at 50%, you're a premier corner in the NFL. You're going to lose some. That's why I like the confidence from Trevon Diggs. Now, who is your biggest Cowboys training camp winner so far? This will be today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Brock Hoffman is next up on this list. Now, if you're going, who is Brock Hoffman? That means you have a life, and I'm very happy for you. Hoffman has been getting quite a bit as of late of the first team reps at right guard. Zach Martin is not present. Josh Ball is Josh Ball. The Cowboys, as we'll get into in the loser's side, have some offensive line interior depth concerns. Hoffman, who was mainly a center previously, has been getting work at guard and is a dark horse to make this Cowboys roster, by the way. Next up is running back Rico Dowdle. We did Deuce Vaughn last time, and I'm hoping Deuce Vaughn's a winner of the Cowboys preseason game. But Dowdle is very much in the running for the RB2 role, or at least 2A and 2B, along with Davis and Deuce Vaughn. Here's what Mike McCarthy said, who I think is quite high on Rico Dowdle. He said, quote, Rico has probably had some of the most impressive pass pro pickups so far this camp. We tend to forget Rico scored a touchdown on a kickoff as a rookie. His second-level running is still exceptional. He had some injuries to overcome, but now we're seeing a healthy Rico. I am excited about Rico Dowdle. And speaking of excitement, make sure you're looking your best when you are excited with our friends over at Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on all of their top-of-the-line men's grooming products when you use promo code COWBOYS. That includes the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker 2.0, bulk deodorant, because you know what? If your armpits get a little bit sweaty and stinky, your balls do too. And the most comfortable boxers known to mankind. 20% off and free shipping on the Performance Package on everything that Manscaped offers. Get yours today. It's manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys. Links in the comment section as well as the description of today's show. How about we give some love to Quinton Bohanna? Mozzie Smith a bit banged up right now. Hopefully that remains minor after a precautionary MRI that seems to come back with he's fine, quote unquote. But Bohanna looks better at training camp this year. Now, he's still in a dangerous spot in terms of making the 53-man roster with Hankins and Mozzie Smith ahead of him, but this is a good thing for Bohanna and the Cowboys regardless. He looks like he's playing a bit more efficiently. He's getting his pad level lower. There's always an issue for Bohanna. Pad level pops up as a defensive lineman. That's how you end up having issues there. So a promising start in camp. Can't wait to watch him in the preseason game for the Cowboys as well. Excited to see how that looks for the Cowboys. Bohanna on his way up in terms of the stock report so far for Dallas. Let's go to Leighton Vander, the linebacker. Now, he had a nice interception of Dak Prescott on Tuesday. That came in a 4th and 3 scenario where the pressure was maybe getting there, which we'll talk about the pressure in a little bit here. But Micah Parsons has pointed out that LV is probably one of the more underrated players on this team. Said, quote, he's the most important piece about the Wolf Hunter. That's the one person I was super excited to have back. You talk about someone that knows and commands the defense inside out, making sure everyone is lined up, attention to detail. What he puts into the game can't be replicated. I do think that's an underrated aspect of the signal caller. LVE has done a good job as the leader of that defense from a pre-snap perspective. Who do you think is the most underrated player on the Cowboys roster? I think Vander Esch is a very good answer for this question, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments. One more winner, then someone in between, and some losers. I am going to put Brandon Aubrey as a winner on this list here. Now, Aubrey, we initially said on Tuesday's video was 9 of 9. He did 2 more kicks afterwards. Count him as 11 for 11 on Tuesday. Now 44 of 55 and 80% in camp, which is not great, even though the conditions can be tough in Oxnard. But I do want to make this point. He's the lone kicker left. Vizcaíno got cut. So yeah, that definitely makes him a winner in my book. We are 82 subs away with days to go until the Cowboys' first preseason game. I have all the confidence in the world that we are going to get there. So let's make sure that happens. Hit that sub button right now if you haven't already. You know we have to talk about Dak Prescott here and what is frankly a sometimes fair, sometimes unfair narrative around him. Dak Prescott does have several interceptions so far in training camp. I believe the number is 5 or 6 at this stage if we're doing team drills and 7-on-7 because one-on-ones are just throwing it up there, see if receiver makes plays. Those aren't really valuable as far as I'm concerned. He actually had 91 straight, but great notes here from Todd Archer, by the way. 91 straight passes in 7-on-7 or team drills without a pick that was ended yesterday. Trevon Diggs made the awesome highlight reel catch where Lamb didn't go up for it that maybe he does in an actual game and falls incomplete. But hey, it was a great play by Diggs. Not a great throw to Simi Fehoko that got picked off. And then 4th and 3 by Vander Esch. But the certain accounts out there on Twitter will only share the negative because that's what gets them engagement. The reality is of training camp here is that Dak has overall been pretty darn good. He's actually got a ton of interceptions. If you follow the right Cowboys reporters, you'll see those, but the big national ones don't do it because those don't get the views. The Cowboys offense has won some, and they've lost some. And isn't that what we were expecting? Like this Cowboys team is playing one of the best defenses it will face all year long throughout the season in training camp. It is an iron sharpens iron. Frankly, I would be concerned if the offense was only cooking the defense. That wouldn't be a good thing. I'd be concerned if the defense was only cooking the offense. Hasn't been the case. It's been a battle, and I think that's what you want in the end in training camp. Now, what you don't want in training camp is what we've seen so far out of the interior offensive line. If you watch some of those clips, especially some passes that have been great, it's in part because the ball might not actually get out in a normal game where Micah's cooking somebody, the interior line is cooking somebody. I am sounding the alarm over my concern about the Cowboys' interior offensive line depth. If you're playing these 5 guys up front, the Smiths, Biotish, Martin, Steele, I think you'll be okay. But inevitably, somebody is going to get hurt, probably Tyron Smith. Awesome Richards is probably not ready yet to be a piece for you. Matt Farniok has had some bad snaps at center. I've been whelmed by him at guard from all the clips we've seen, and sounds like similar reports coming out. I don't know how good Chuma Edoga is or not. He's gotten a bunch of different reps at a few spots, but he's also gotten cooked by Micah Parsons. Is that because Parsons is a star? He's been your best player in camp, by the way. Or is Edoga just not that great? I don't know. They're giving Brock Hoffman reps, and he has kind of been a journeyman in a young NFL career. Josh Ball's bad. Matt Waletzko has not been as good as I was hoping he was going to be. I'm hopeful these guys look better in the preseason game, but if they're getting beat, it's August, guys. You got to go find somebody else via trade, via roster cut, via free agent. I am worried about that depth along the offensive line. So what is your concern level about the offense unit? Of all my concerns with this Cowboys team, I'm not worried about the interceptions. I'm worried about the offensive line because that can kill your entire offense, ground game, and passing game. What's your concern level? Scale it for me, 1 to 10, in the comment section. All right, the first of the 2 Fehokos, Simi Fehoko. I have been very disappointed by the results so far out of Simi, who has a great size-speed combination, but traits aren't everything in football. And I need him to play well in the preseason, and I want him to play well in the preseason. I do not believe it is a coincidence that several of Dak's interceptions or near interceptions have come on not great throws in the direction of Simi Fehoko. You are a big receiver, and you're not really going up to get the football. You're not winning in those even 40-60 battles or breaking up the pass. You got to do better there. When you have a multiple example reps of, hey, maybe not the best throw, to be clear, but also the receiver didn't make a competent play on the football, that was part of the issue last year. The Cowboys will never admit it publicly, but if they were going to be assigning blame for some of the interceptions from Dak, I think there'd be a lot more than we would normally expect would actually go on Michael Gallup because he just wasn't making good plays on the football, didn't look confident out there. I'm getting the same vibes out of Fehoko. I hope he has a great preseason game. I want nothing more than to put him in the winners category, get things going, because that size-speed combination is pretty rare, but I have not seen great stuff in camp, and that concerns me. All right, next up is Viliami Fehoko. It's Fehoko for Simi and Fehoko for Viliami because that makes sense. He has had a quiet camp so far. I'll give the Cowboys credit. Their training camp coverage from a team perspective is better than anybody because it's unlimited clips. So we get to see all the splash plays, all the highlights, lowlights that most people don't get to see for their respective teams. It's what makes camp so fun. How many times have we seen Fehoko out there? 1 or 2? Maybe? That's a concern. Now he has a shoulder strain as well. Hoping he gets it going in the preseason. Who has been your biggest training camp loser so far? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. By the way, the correct answer is about to come. Let's talk about Emmanuel Acho and LaShawn Shady McCoy. Acho, I forget how it's pronounced. They don't deserve the respect. Anyway, these 2 noted Cowboys haters, minus their clown makeup, showed up to Cowboys training camp on Tuesday. They were there for, per Emmanuel, 45 minutes, which is you got to see the stretches and maybe a couple of individual drills. That is it. They took their photo ops. They said hi to Micah Parsons because Shady and Micah grew up near each other, basically, different years, and did a couple media stuff and then bounced. And then had the audacity to tweet out from Emmanuel, when the fans speak, I listen. If you're going to talk about the Cowboys, you better show up to practice. So we did. Yeah, but you didn't. You weren't there to see anything that actually mattered. You watched them warm up. Shady McCoy tweets out, being at Cowboys camp, they've got top 3 talented roster in the league. Based on what? How they stretched? What are we doing out here? I actually have no issues when they want to talk Cowboys on national media, because that's what gets the engagement. I understand the game. I understand all that. But don't sit up there in your clownery and tell me that you took in a Cowboys practice and used that to continue to talk shit about the Cowboys. There are plenty of things to be negative about. We certainly are here as Cowboys fans. But don't sit up there and act like you studied a Cowboys practice and use that as, well, see, they were bad. No, you don't. Honestly, you don't even have to watch practice. That's not a big deal to me. There are plenty of great reporters out there who are giving you the clips and the info that you need. Don't cherry pick and be a talking head. That's what annoys me. So yeah, these two guys, massive losers. Plus, who wears jorts as a grown man?